Good evening, everyone. We are bringing you Tier 2 Monza Redux this evening after a failed attempt last time. I'm Righteous Fire, and we are going for a cinematic experience of sorts this evening. I'm attempting to cast the ultra wide here on a 16:9 stream, so hoping everything works out for the best. Hopefully we should be able to see more, get the same information, and have a good time. Per the standings, Rosefest is well ahead of Vans, but Vans needs to win this race to be anywhere close to the fight. It is, how many points? We have 166 points from Rosefest versus 131 for Van. So in the event of I believe a second place, if Vans finish first, Rosefest gets second, then the championship will go to Rosefest. But if he gets outside of that, I believe Van still has a chance to win this. So we'll see what happens. First driver out on track is one of the AlphaTauris, and that is Astro. Last time here, we had quite a good showing for qualifying as well as halfway through the race. Vans had a lead on Rosefest, and then a safety car debacle of Codemasters streaming nonsense caused Rosefest to be disqualified during the safety car period, and we had to cancel the race to postpone it. Redo it this evening. The final round will be Brazil next week. This was supposed to be a break weekend it is a break weekend for most of the series except for ACC raced on Saturday because of the July 4th weekend, and this being a predominantly North American league. A lot of people were busy or out of town or whatever. But Tier 2 wanted to race today, so here we are in Monza. Right on board with Astro as we come up the very long straight here in Monza, all out braking as hard as you can around the 100-meter board down to second. Trying not to get too much on the throttle. A little shift down to first for more rotation. Short shifting up here through Curva Grande. Most of this circuit is flat out, and one of the highest speed circuits on the calendar. Coming up to the chicane, brake as late as you can, get as much speed, eat as much of the corners as you can here to keep that speed up. Going through the Degnas, you want to be brave. Not a lot of downforce required here. Pretty low downforce circuit, but some of these corners require a little bit. So he pushes a little bit wide and understeers through the second Degnar. Coming down the second DRS straight up to Ascari. And take this very fast, get on the throttle immediately and power out. He had to save some oversteer there, but this will just be a banker lap for him. We'll see what tires. Everyone should be doing the soft tires. Coming through Parabolica. Get on the throttle as soon as possible. Use the outside if you can, but there's not a lot of traction on that turf. Short ride up to the line for 120.155. Next car coming around is Van. Right, 119.2, 9/10 faster than Astro. Very good lap from him. Should see a few more drivers coming up. Eric coming through with a Renault behind him, a little bit in the slipstream. Eric with a 121, Atmosphere almost 121. Juan getting a 119, joining the 119 club as well with Van. Rosefest yet to come out. One of our reserve drivers, Tom, going to come across the line for P4. It's Figlin comes across for a P5, only to be taken out by Rad coming in just barely coming into the 119s by 0.02 of a second. And Sadist coming in for P3, still 0.7 off of Van's provisional pole lap. As the only drivers, let's see, Zrout, which is actually Tours on here. 2 drivers still in the pits. This Games? J.A. Games? I don't know. We'll call him James. And Rosefest still sitting in the pits waiting for their opportunity to go out. Zrout here on his hot lap. Might get a little bit of help from the Renault in front of him. And the way of some slipstream coming down these long straights to the start-finish. See if he can catch up and get a little bit more time out of this. Keeping it nice and tidy through Parabolica, not losing it, but keeping it clean as it comes across only for a 121.5. So James is finally out on track, as well as Astro back out for another go at it. Rosefest waiting patiently. Guess he feels like he's got this in the bag. Qualifying wise. Ooh, James getting a little loose on Degnar, keeping it together though. Van's back out for his second lap, and Zrout coming around for his in lap. James has got an AlphaTauri of Tom behind him as he's getting a little wily coming out of our Scari. We'll see where he ends up on the board. Not a lot happening. Coming across the line. Must have been an invalid lap, so he does not set. He must have invalidated there towards the end, and I did not catch it. We will ride on board with Van. Full lap experience of Monza. Missing a commentary partner this evening. Really wish I had someone to help me out. Nevertheless, we persist. Straight here, 214 miles an hour deep in turn 1, turn 2, keeping it together. Short shifting up to third to keep the traction down. Some sector times here. See where Van's at. He is almost 1/10 up on his previous time. See where he ends up at the start of sector 3. There's a Haas off to the side, but well out of the way. Trying to get as much throttle through all of these corners as he possibly can. Understeering a little bit through the second one, but keeping it together as we come up to the third sector timing line to see where we're at, see if he can get in, break into those 118s here. And he is 1.5 down. If he can shave off another, oh, and he invalidates the first corner of Ascari. That's unfortunate. As his contender is out for his lap. Quite a lot of traffic up here in the chicane, so hopefully they don't impede his time. We'll see. Rosefest keeping it very smooth, using a little bit of that curve on the outside. Keeping nice and tight to the inside of the Degnar. Oh, and he loses it. And oh no. Rosefest retires. That's got to be good news for Van, though. At least he gets kind of a buffer for the start of the race, as we, but there's no red flags here in F1 2020 game. That is quite a bummer for Rosefest. Well, he'll be starting from the back. Only 12 cars to get ahead, or to get past. And Monza has plenty of overtaking opportunities. But it is what it is. Juan's starting a flying lap, as well as a few other drivers behind him. We're trying to break into that 119s. If you're watching and are not one of the drivers, feel free to let me know what you think of the new format for the stream. I'm kind of digging it, but we'll see what everyone thinks. Oh, and TJ joining mid-quali as a reserve driver. No problem, the more the merrier. Got a few minutes left for him to get a lap in. Sorry about that. Checking on some things. Juan coming across, staying in P2. Sadist up into P3. Astro still near the top of the boards, but is on a lap. I'll pull up the telemetry so I have everyone's information here. Ooh, and just barely invalidates first car. Everybody seems to be doing that a lot. You want to carry as much speed through there as possible, but really got to watch those outside tires and through that turn. Meat shield retiring as well. Let's see what else we got out here. Nope. Van is back on his second hot lap attempt. Let's see what kind of timing we can get for the third, coming up to the third sector. See if he's doing any better or the same as his last lap. Yeah, about the same. Just over a 10th down on his previous time. If he can find some more time through the end of Ascari there, as well as through Parabolica, he might be able to break very close to 118 here. Short shifting up to 6 to make sure he gets as much traction as possible so we can get more throttle on. And he will come across for a 118.9. Very nice. Nicely done by Van. A few more drivers joining the 119 club. Figlin breaking in as well. Astor out here. No energy left. Only a few percent. So I'm not quite sure what he's on about for this lap. I don't know if he's ahead or not, but doesn't look like it. Should be heading into the pits. Didn't have enough time to recharge after his mistake last time. Gypsy joining, possibly joining me in the booth here. I'm not quite sure. We'll find out. Atmosphere out on a hot lap. Got a few cars in front of him. Might have gotten a little slipstream from Alfa Romeo of Van. See if he can, he's already in the top 10, so he's kind of stuck with his tire of choice. See if he can make his way further up. Oh, And it is Chipsy joining us in the booth.
I am here.
Good evening, sir. Say again?
Thank you for getting it started. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Let me turn you up a smidge. Did you check out the stream?
I did. It looks really good.
You like it? I'm digging it. I feel like it's got a... You can kind of see more, even though the leaderboard's still just like in a dumb spot. You get more view, and you know, I made a widget so you get the same information without having all that extra stuff in the way. I think you just, like I said, going for more of a cinematic feel, you know?
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. Let's see, who do we got here? So I'm just getting myself acclimated. Looks like Van's the only one into the 118s right now.
Yep, his last lap, he said, he invalidated his second lap, went back out for another one. Rosefest waited until about halfway through the session and then DNF'd into a wall.
Oh.
So he will be starting from the back.
Little second to last race drama we have going on here. Obviously, Van needs to win today, and Rosefest needs to come, I believe, lower than P8 for the championship to still be open.
Maybe I had that wrong before. I thought he, if he gets P2 and Van doesn't get, or if you said lower than P8, so
I think so. Let me see here. I'll check the standings while we're.
So that would put Van, if he got P1 and the fastest lap, that would put him at 159 points. That would put him 2 points behind. Now, if Rosefest gets 0 points, obviously there's a chance.
Right,
Van would have to beat Rosefest no matter what position Rosefest gets for the last. So 7 points is the greatest difference. So I think if Van wins and gets the fastest lap, and Rosefest gets, let's say, P6, that's what, 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
That gives him a 10-point advantage. Van has to win, and Rosefest has to get no higher than third for the last race. It's still mathematically okay, so if Van has to win and get the fastest lap. If Rosefest comes in second, that gives him 18 points, so that's 179. He has a 20-point advantage. It's still mathematically possible no matter what happens, but Van has to win, I believe.
Right. Yeah, Van has to win today. Juan Sari into the wall in DNFs.
Yeah, we've had a couple of early retirements. I don't know if Michio retired. Ooh, Zrout going off of turn 2, almost into the wall there. Yeah, lots of calamities here in qualifying. Everyone's spinning out. I don't know if someone laid an oil slick down on the road here, but we've just had 2 cars in a row get loose out of turn 2 and almost go off into the wall. Astro trying to improve, maybe get up on that first row. He's not doing so well. He's more than a 10th. He was almost a 10th up, or positive on his time. So we'll see what happens. He would need to clear 0.15 seconds, 1/6 seconds.
It's like Van's up a 10th on his lap as well. Could be set to improve here unless he doesn't mess up the last turn.
Well,
very nice.
Astro messed up, so not much for him. Going, Van just out for a glory run, it looks like.
Yep, Rad's up to P4 too.
He does improve by 56 thousandths.
It's something, right?
Yeah, something. Well, not a full grid, but more than I expected, I guess. TJ not setting a lap, starting from the back as well. Good amount of drivers into the 119s. Van 0.6 ahead of the next driver. It would have been interesting to see what Rosefest would have done, but I mean, because he qualified pretty high last time. Now he's got
Yeah,
13 drivers to get through.
Fortunately, I missed that. But yeah, Van up P1. Obviously, it's a shame that what happened last time in Monza, but he'll be set to try to recreate what he did last time and go out for a P1 finish. Van has been practicing his starts as well. He's been doing a little bit better, but we'll see if Juan Sari can get a good start and take that P1 position. It's going to be a nice little drag race down to turn 1.
Yeah, Juan usually gets a decent start, I feel like. I've seen him get some pretty good starts.
Who are we waiting on?
Just waiting on some drivers to come around and pit. Well, that'll do it. Oh, some of the grid has been filled by Vettel, Latifi, Stroll, Magnussen, Hamilton, and Bottas. So that should be fun.
Oh yeah, top tier.
I feel like if we don't have a full grid, we should fill it with bots.
That would be interesting for sure.
I mean, these guys are fast enough. As a bunch of these guys are faster than I am. Not a bunch. A handful of them are faster than I am, and I can race 100 to 105 against AI. So I feel like if we just put a 100 AI, just a bunch of them in there, just kind of mix it up,
Yeah. Well, hopefully, obviously, it's end of the lifespan here of F1 2020. We've had a couple good seasons, so looking forward to. I'm sure a lot of people are F1 2021. So yeah, should be very interesting. So Van P1 up a half a second on Juan, and then it kind of gets a little more competitive there. Juan, Sadis, Rad, all within about 2/10 of each other.
Yeah, half a second.
A good lap.
Half a second separating P2 to P8. So yeah, Rosefest's gonna have to get through a lot of drivers. We'll see what turn 1 holds.
Yeah, looking for a little drama. I guess we'll find out the weather here in about 10 seconds, if not a little bit less.
Well, I didn't get clarification, so it's light clouds all the way. I didn't know if we were going full dynamic or not. So I figured, you know what, to give them a proper redo, I gave them some dry weather.
All the way. Absolutely. Let's just do it. Let the racing happen. Hopefully we'll have a couple different battles here. Be interesting to see if Rosefest can climb his way from last all the way up to the podium position. That'll be one to watch for stream for sure.
I don't doubt that he can. I'm more worried about potential incidents trying to get by the other drivers. And, Rosefest is a smart driver, so I think he should be... he'll be pretty smart about it.
Yeah,
I'm just worried about...
calculated.
For his sake, I'm worried about people around him interfering with his ability to do so. So, I mean, we had the safety car last time, which caused the problem. I believe because someone... we don't know exactly. We believe it was because somebody left or dropped during quali and rejoined, and then that same person... Was it the same person that...
jumped everybody to get into the pits?
The pits? Was that Alex?
I think that was Alex, but
I don't think it was the person who dropped though. But yeah, it's tough to tell with this thing sometimes.
Cody's. Yeah, for sure. We could sit here all night and speculate, but
Eric has left, so
he did the same thing last week too. I think he'll be able to kind of get back in before, even though it is a short lap here, before the grid forms up. Good for Meat Shield as well, qualifying P10 ahead of Eric, TJ, Zrout, and obviously Rosefest who DNF. But
yeah, I've got Rad, always a good qualifier. Sadis and Astro, pretty decent qualifiers as well. Juan's pretty speedy. His race pace is a little iffy at times. I don't think it's consistent enough. I think he's got the ability to. I just think he has some consistency in when he gets around other drivers sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing for most people is like racing through traffic. Obviously, is tough for anyone. 'Cause you never know what the other guy's gonna do.
Especially around Monza. Should be forming up here. AI should have control. Yeah, looks like it does. And hopefully Eric got back in.
It did look like he rejoined.
Let's see here. Let's see the tire situation.
Everyone on softs.
Fair play. It's easy soft medium here.
We'll try and limit the amount of screen taken up by stuff right now.
All right, looks like we're ready to go.
Grid getting ready to start. 5 lights, slight delay. And away they go. Van getting off to a pretty good start this time. Everyone else as well, it seems like. Rad getting a really good start coming up between everyone here.
Very nice start.
Getting ahead of Juan, actually. And then coming into turn 1, let's see if we get, a little bit of a bump and run here.
3 wide into
drivers.
turn 1. Juan's pushed off. Juan loses out big here.
Drop it down 5 positions. Everyone's staying safe. Yellow flag behind. It looks like maybe Red Bull getting a little slow there from Zral. Rosefest already up to P10 from the start. Coming through here, Van pulling away from the rest of the crowd. Already half a second on Rad behind, and Rad moving up a few positions as well. Everyone else kind of everyone else falling in line. Ooh, one of the Haas looks like getting a little loose through the Degnar there. Or one of the Haas, the only Haas out there, Figlin, getting in the gravel a little bit. Coming through Ascari.
Everybody looking pretty clean
lap.
through there.
Yep, so far no lap 1 incidents yet. Van now almost 0.3 of a second ahead of Rad. And James Figlin looking for a move on James here even before Parabolica.
Yeah, Astro's fancying a move against Sadis right now as well. See if he goes for this into turn 1 or if he and Tom behind him.
Yep. Tom getting that slipstream coming up the inside here. Dead even into the braking zone. Ooh, Tom looking like, Astro.
Oh, yeah, Astro
bumping.
Sadis.
Good thing ghosting is on for these guys, I guess. Tom taking full advantage of that, getting through Grande. Ooh, almost cutting off Astro, but everyone seems to be keeping it together.
Going on here. Okay. Very nice. Good job by Tom to get out ahead of that.
Yeah, Rad and Van taking advantage. Van now 1.5 seconds off of Rad. Rad 1.5 seconds off of Tom now, who's leading this little fight for P3 with James and Figlin behind him. Looks like a few drivers. Oh yeah, Sadis dropping back now after his turn 1, and Eric having some issues in the Degnar, looks like. Rosefest up to P9.
Yeah, 2/10 off of Juan.
Yep, getting double slipstream between him
Windshield
and Atmosphere.
retires.
Windshield DNF'd in Ascari. Ooh, safety car.
Full safety car. Van must be sweating.
Good
thing is, it's not 48% of the race right now, so hopefully no bugs. Let's see if we can get through this cleanly.
Well, doesn't look like anybody broke the rules here coming into the pit, so we should be good.
Yeah. And who's heading to the pits here? We got Figlin in for his mediums. I think Sadis is in for hards. Sadis in for mediums.
Yep, Astro, Figlin, Sadis, and TJ taking the mediums, and Atmosphere going onto the hard tires. A lot of them were in some scuffles, so may have replaced some wings as well. There's a lot of bumping going on from a few of these drivers, wheel to wheel and wing to tire. As everyone is passing the safety car. Rosefest now up to P6.
Yeah, with all those drivers in front of him pitting, that kind of opens it up for him. Interesting enough is... Where is the safety car? Oh, it's still sitting there. Okay.
Because I believe Van was across the line when the safety car was called. The field passes the safety car.
Yeah. Tom's heading into the pits. Probably this. Wonder if he's gonna put on the mediums or the hards. Will the mediums last till the end?
Some have claimed they can. I mean, if you're really good with your tires, I guess maybe. But I don't know. They'll be screaming for it probably towards the end there. He's putting on some softs. Looks like.
All right.
Maybe trying to get a wing change. I don't know.
No, I didn't see any wing change. But I mean, it's on the softs. Only goes down to P7. Gonna have Astro Figlin behind him on the medium, so that shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Rad up 2 positions, James up 4, Rosefest up 9, and Zrout up 6. Every other driver falling back a little bit, except for Van, still in the lead.
A little bit of issue with the board here, saying TJ's in first, but that should change in a second.
Well, not on my end.
There
so.
you go. Yep. All right, there we go.
Oh, we'll wait for the field to catch up now. Probably do one more lap of this.
Yeah, I think you're right. No atmosphere on those hard tires. That's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna feel too good.
Well,
did I say atmosphere? I think I said atmosphere, right?
Yeah. He won't have to pit again.
That's for sure. He stays out of trouble, and he could probably score some good points today.
Well, if I'm Rosefest, I'm sweating a little bit.
Oh, safety car's
car
in.
coming this lap. Wow. All right.
Yeah. Atmosphere is going to have a full run here. He's going up full speed right now. He's going to have to slow down. Hopefully he realizes this. No, he does. Let's see the guys behind him.
Van getting a good jump. Already half a second off Rad, but James coming up the inside of Rad here into the braking zone for turn 1. Rad looks like he keeps it together. James trying to get around the outside. Now pushing Rad out of the way here. Ooh, Rad and Juan getting together.
That'll put the Rosefest into P4, yeah. Tom's on Rosefest here, then go side by side. Rosefest. Both leave space, nice. Tom has the better line through there, so he's able to take that position back.
Yeah, I was going to say before we got started here, if I'm Rosefest, I'm sweating a little bit because I got all these drivers around me. I'm trying to make up as many positions as possible. Managed to keep it together a little bit. It's got a little RPM bug. We're going to skip him. Van walking away.
Yeah. Well, he has the clean air, so he can just do his own thing, hot lap, and he doesn't have to worry about the people behind him. So as long as he stays out of trouble, keeps it clean, no more safety cars, and P1 finish for him.
Rad, Rad and Tom fighting through Parabolica. Tom will make that stick. Getting a little, kind of looked like it bullied him out of the way a little bit, but I don't know, maybe just some rough racing.
Okay with that here. Tom's locking him. Turn 1 here. James very slow through turn 1. Tom's gonna have a really, really good run on him. Oh, Tom loses it.
Resets to track. Almost dangerously with cars coming in the middle of the road.
Yeah, he's still off track here. So, the pit onto softs turns out to not be a good idea for him. Gonna have to pit again. He could probably throw on mediums and make it last to the end now, though. And now Van is 3.3 seconds ahead of the next driver.
Tom picking up a 3-second penalty for good measure there. Yep, Rad staying within DRS of James. Rosefest right on the gearbox of Rad. DRS will be enabled this
James
next
going
go
off track
around.
here.
Rad having a little bit. Rosefest using all the power, it looks like, to get up here into P2. Already by lap 6. A little help from the safety car and a few drivers getting into some scuffles. Rad and Rosefest very close to each other through Parabolica. But with 2 drivers behind them, 2 by 2 here. Plenty of slipstream to be had for some of these guys. We're going 4 wide into turn 1 possibly.
Yeah, Juan's getting a really, really good run here.
It's like a little 3 wide. Rosefest trying to make this work around Rad. Rad not giving up and managed to pull out ahead of Rose.
Very nice run through turn 1 there. Everybody leaving the space.
Live to fight another day. Rosefest. Got
Rosefest
so much speed.
Yeah. It's going to have the optimal line here.
I think he's pushing real hard to get by these guys and get out of danger because he is not in a good spot. He is boxed in by all these cars here.
Yeah. Juan getting a run on him now. And this is opening up for Van, who's now 7 seconds ahead.
Yeah, so even if Rose does get by Rad, he's got still a lot of work to do. He's fallen back a little bit as Juan and James were fighting a little bit. That is a horrible noise. That RPM bug is killer, I swear.
It really is. But this is a good little battle here between the 3, 4, 5 drivers.
And now Zrout has joined the party as well. We're going to hang out with Rosefest here as he is going to get DRS on this very long straight into turn 1. He might not have enough in him to catch up to Rad here. He's already gaining a little bit with DRS. I mean, he'll be close, but I don't think he's going to make it this time around. Every driver has DRS here into turn 1.
I don't have internals right now, so I can't see. There we go. Yeah, so now we're gonna have Rad versus Rose here, and then we're gonna have Juan versus everybody else, it seems, because 5 through 9 or 5 through 10 all have DRS on each other. And
Juan having a little shit. Oh,
yeah.
There's a car off in the chicane. I'm not
Astro?
quite sure who that was. No, that is a Renault of Atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
He does not appear to have. He does not appear to have DNF'd. All right, hanging on board with Rosefest as he goes
3
for
wide
another.
here. Oh, Astro and Zrout. I don't know what that was, but Zrout ended up into the wall very heavily there.
Rosefest now a couple tenths closer to Rad than he was last time around.
Yep.
See what kind of exit he can get out of Parabolic to see if he can gain some time even before he gets to DRS. Rad getting a little loose on the exit, riding on that AstroTurf and that curb, and Rose already has the run on him with DRS, and he's going to make a move guaranteed into turn 1 here.
Yeah,
Rose
you could probably do it.
Rad using a lot of energy right now, keeping him at bay for the time being.
And Rosefest doesn't go for a move.
Figlin cutting across turn 1 and 2, getting a 10-second time penalty. Just blatantly cut that. Probably trying to avoid an accident, maybe? I don't know, but... Juan now catching up a little bit. Not too much. Still about over a second off of Rosefest. We got quite a little group here from P3 to P9. Astro picking up a 3-second time. Oh, Juan getting into the wall.
Juan's off and DNFs. And will that be a safety car? Because that'll play out well for Van, Rad, and Rose.
Does not look like it.
There we go.
It is full safety. All right. Van is already. Van is not. Oh, that's the other Alfa Romeo. I apologize. Yeah. Throw on those mediums and get going.
I wouldn't be surprised if everybody heads into the pits here, even if you're on the medium tire, go throw on another set of mediums.
Yeah.
Unless the other mediums can make it last, but I don't know.
Well, Van is into the pits, as is Rad, Rosefest.
Dumping in here.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you? Figlin's got that 10-second time penalty. Is he going to serve it here?
You
Does
know,
it do that?
we'll find out. Let's go on board with Figlin and see if he's hanging.
Nope.
And he is not hanging. Okay.
Astro getting a wing change, it looks like.
Yeah, him and Zerao made contact pretty heavily. And someone lost it. Did TJ lose it on the new tires?
What do you mean?
It showed his car sideways for me, but it could just be a Cody's thing.
Nope, he is driving along.
Okay, well, Cody's thing. So Eric made out pretty well. He had just pit, so he was able to jump some people. He is on those hard tires, and the people behind him are going to be on medium tires, so he may get swallowed up. But as of right now, he's in P7.
Let's get some penalty checks here. Sadist and TJ with 5-second penalties. Astro, Tom, and Zerao with 3 seconds, and Figlin with that 10-second for just a blatant turn 1 cut. And we'll check out some position changes. Rosefest up those 11 positions from the back of the grid. Still has Rad to fight through again. Van seems to get his safety car start down pretty well, so let's see if the safety car is coming in this lap. I think we would have been told already if it was. Looks like we're doing another go around. I don't think it did one complete lap yet, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Do one more here. Yeah, Van needs to get away, and he really needs Rad and Rosefest to battle a little bit, so he can build a gap. Even though, you know, part of me wants to see Rosefest, Rad, and Van battle for the remainder of this race.
Well, another safety car lap of Monza.
Yeah, going around
All
one more
three.
time here.
Top 3 all with a lot of fuel left as well, so gonna be a lot of rich running from all of them probably. Not really sure what to do now.
Well, we just hang out and watch the safety car go around. Obviously, the mediums will last to the end very easily here, so it's just going to be a pseudo sprint race.
I stopped doing the online, the league racing stuff, but actually the other day I was feeling kind of burnt out from a few other things, so I decided to pick up the my career mode of F1 2020 the other day. I think I'm in season 2, but some of these races, like I have like I'm racing against 100 AI just because I figure, you know what, some tracks I'm good, some I'm not, and like there are some tracks that just absolutely blow the AI away, but others like you can't even touch them. In the wet though, I'm at Zandvoort right now, and in the wet, just trouncing the AI by like 1.5 seconds. But in the dry, I'm still barely able to get out of the top 10. Anyway, safety car restart. Here we go. Sorry. Rosefest getting a really good run up on a Rad, trying to get Rad going deep into turn 1. Rosefest getting a nice clean outside of turn 2. Rad off the back foot, and Rosefest now getting ahead of him, but Van more than a second.
Yeah,
clear.
Which is very critical here. All right, so we're seeing the gap form here. Rad behind Rosefest, 6/10, and James behind him. So Gastro is really close to Eric here. Go on board with him, see if he makes a move. We have a yellow flag out.
Looks like TJ had a little issue in the first Degnar.
Ashton.
Degnar? Lesmo. That's what they are.
Could be whatever you want it to be.
Right
Astro
hand
sticking it.
turns.
Ooh. Nice move by Astro through Scary. And let's see. Van keeping his 1.3 second gap to Rosefest around here. He is using, they're both using all of their energy through there. Rad using his now. Obviously you want to do that to try to build a gap before the DRS comes back. But Rad being doing very well to say, oh, he goes a little wide through there. He's going to lose a lot of time now. Yeah, he loses four positions. 3 positions. Phelan gets ahead.
That's unfortunate from him. Trying to push really hard probably and keep that position or fight for P2. But Van walking away. Van using a lot of fuel. Rosefest not so much. Rosefest sitting about the same amount of fuel he had during the safety car period. Van has used a third of a lap extra fuel. Both of them sitting. Well, Van having a little bit more energy usage. Probably just to pull that gap as much as possible.
Yeah,
now
Rosefest
James
getting wide in there too.
I was gonna say now James coming up on Rosefest after that. Rosefest dipping that tire into the dirt a little bit, even on the straight, so not doing himself any favors. Rad with a 3-second time penalty for cutting through Ascari a little bit, extending rather. Yep, we're gonna have a little DRS train from P2 to P7. It looks like.
Oh yeah.
Once it comes back online. James already.
Yeah, getting a really good run out of there. Oh yeah. Gonna go to the outside or inside. He has either option there. He's gonna go to the outside. It's gonna give him the inside line on the next turn. Let's see what happens here. He makes a move stick. Good job by him. Oh. Maybe not. They're drag racing through here.
Rosefest looks like he's conceding that position. Smart move by him to not try and fight it. Poking his nose to the side there into the chicane. Always kind of a smart move sometimes to throw the other driver off if they're looking at you.
Yeah, especially around here where the turns come very quick. But he's all over the back of James here, pushing him through here. Gets the DRS, and he's going to make this move stick.
Yeah, but now almost 4 seconds behind Van. So Van, as of right now, still in the fight for the championship. Rose would have to have a very poor Brazil. Van wins, and Atmosphere is going to retire, and Ascari. It's like a little DNF situation. We're not unable to catch it, unfortunately. And another safety, virtual safety car. Ooh! Sorry, we're on board with James. Rosefest looked like he was potentially going to dive into the pit if it was a full safety car, and almost hit the wall.
Good thing he was able to save that here. Well, the virtual safety car is always a little bit more tricky than a full safety car because of the delta. So hopefully no one gets a drive through here, because it will pretty much ruin your race.
If you're Rosefest though, like you gotta toe that delta line because you don't want to lose any more time to Van than you already have.
Yeah, good point. Looks like they're slowing up now. They're getting the. There we go. Okay. We will find out very soon here if anybody gets one. Ooh, I thought that was it. Brad getting a 3-second penalty.
Almost. This is quite the virtual safety car.
It is. Oh,
and
there's one.
that is it. And TJ will get a drive-through. Don't know if anybody else has got it or not. But Rosefest about the same distance off of Van, and everyone else maintaining their delta pretty well.
Yeah.
So, but James will have DRS on a Rosefest.
Rosefest getting really loose through there. Try to get the power down.
Yep. Coming out of Parabolica, James already got a little bit of a run on him. slipstream in DRS, and he is going to get by Rosefest handily. Rosefest going to put the pressure on for turn 1, see if he can make a mistake. James gets on that curve a little bit, gets a little bit loose, but Rosefest isn't able to capitalize on it. And Van now pulling another second out on these guys.
Yeah, Rosefest's not going to be as close as he was last time unless he gets a good run out of here. Nah, still a little bit more of a gap here. Rosefest picking up a time penalty. That looks a little strange. And he
now
gets
into
loose.
the gravel.
Oh.
Saves it, manages not to DNF, but is going to lose a position or 2 to the drivers behind.
Oh, he gets into the back of Figlin. Hopefully he doesn't have wing damage there. And
you know what?
Astro
Hot take. Maybe this is all just an elaborate ploy by Rosefest to really let Van kind of rest on his laurels, and then he's just going to just take it away in Brazil. I don't know.
Well, it definitely adds to the in-season drama, which we love so much. So, fair play. We'll see if Astro sends a move up here on Rosefest in the turn 1. Doesn't look like he will. But yeah, Van up 5 seconds on James.
You know what it is? Oh no, Astro has wing damage. No, so does Rosefest. Rosefest has a left-hand side wing damage.
Yeah, probably with that contact on Figlin.
So we can get a view. He's not missing an end plate, so he's good there. But not going to do himself any favors.
Rosefest all over the back of Figlin here. Well, he was.
Now it's the battle for third. It looks like for the time being.
I cannot see right now, but who has the fastest lap?
I believe it is still Man with a 122.7.
Right.
Oh, Eric with the second fastest lap, the 122.8. So unless someone gets just a banger of a lap in towards the end of the race, I don't think anybody's going to take that away from him, because the next closest driver besides is Astro, and he's 1.3 seconds off that time. And TJ coming into the pits for his drive-through, speeding into the pit lane.
Well, that would be a net. Yeah, that's not going to work well for him.
Dropping down out of the points and falling back quite a bit on that drive-through. Eric will be in the points. Ooh, Rosefest missing his braking point, letting Astro go. Not quite sure. Astro getting very loose into the gravel coming out of the chicane. Rosefest poking his nose on the inside of his teammate there. Not doing them both any favors. Rosefest still down in, or now down in P6. With Tom coming up to the back of him, both of them with DRS. Tom is not going to let this slide. It looks like coming into Ascari. He's going to put the pressure on and make that move. And he gets a time penalty for extending, getting onto the curb there. But he does get slightly ahead of Rosefest. Rad now all over the back as well.
Absolutely, going 3 wide here. Oh!
Tom almost not letting Rad get enough. Oh! And Rad on the inside gets bumped by Tom. It looks like Rad keeps it together though. He does have some wing damage.
Yeah.
Rad diving into the pits. Well,
everyone's sending it. You know, I gotta appreciate it. I appreciate it, but at the same time, a little unfortunate for some people. Rad's gonna put on those soft tires to the end.
Maybe go for that fastest lap.
Yeah, he's going to take that fastest lap, that crucial point away from Van there.
Rosefest, the only driver just barely within DRS range. He's trying to keep within DRS range of Tom as they come up to the detection point. and he is within that 1 second, so he will get DRS here coming into Ascari. But he is now down in P7 and has been falling the past few laps.
Tom's catching Astro too.
Van's got to keep that.
Oh, Astro almost loses it. That's gonna send. It's gonna allow Tom to get even closer here. Both are using all of their energy, so it's gonna come down to DRS.
But Tom is going to get DRS on Astro Roadfest. It dropped out. He got a little loose through Ascari. Lost some time on the back of Tom. Tom pushing pretty hard to get some constructor points for Alfa Romeo.
Oh yeah.
Mercedes catching up to James. It looks like a little bit. Astro not getting a good exit out of 2. Neither is Tom though.
Rosefest going into the pits. Who's going to take that fastest lap? It's going to be a battle for the fastest lap. It's actually working out very well for Figlin, who, if nobody pit and everybody stayed, he would have dropped down to P9, P10. But right now, he'll be in net P6 with his 10-second time penalty. Astro is drifting through Ascari.
Mercedes looking for a move. He does have a penalty, so he's going to have to get by James and then some. Van, James, and Eric, the only drivers without penalties so far. Tom with DRS getting up on the inside of Astro into turn 1. A little bit late on the brakes, but and gets into Astro, causing him sideways out of turn 2.
Was that contact?
There was contact.
All right.
Looks like Tom might have cut him off a little bit, but hard to tell from where we were at. Rad picking up that fastest lap. 122.1, not that much faster than Van's from earlier. Eric now up to P8 with no penalties.
Yeah, and he's on the back of his route here on soft tires, and the route being on the hard tires. So, yeah, Eric's one of those guys. You know, he's put in the work. He's been progressively getting better racecraft, and just being better overall in wheel racing. So, you know, shout out to him. He's been doing very well last week as well.
DRS on his route here, coming into Ascari, not going for a move quite yet.
Yeah, very patient through there. Very nice. Be mindful just to worry about his exit here, and he'll have a beautiful run on his route.
He does not have a lot of energy remaining. Looking at his wheel here, he's got less than 20%.
Downshifts a little early into 8th.
Astro going to the pits as well, moving Eric up into P7 now. And with that DRS on his route, going for it into turn 1. Even though he would have had it based on time penalties, probably he's going to take it on track. And now 17 seconds to get to Tom, but he did clear quite a bit on his route there.
Yeah, very nice by him. Good job, Eric. Back up to the front. Van's in the clear. Say this behind James. Nothing really happening there.
Van just keeping that 5.5 second gap with about 5 laps left in the race.
Yeah. Oh, gotta step away for 1 second. Be right.
Okay.
And I am back.
Well, you didn't miss anything. Everyone kind of spreading out a little bit, so not much happening. Rosefest wasn't P8, now pitting again. And retiring. Wow. Interesting move. He's going to get 0 points this race.
Very interesting. So with that,
Van will come within 3 points of him, and which leaves the door open. I mean, Van has to finish ahead of him, no matter what. He has to get.
Yeah.
If he gets P3, Rose has to get P4, and everything above that. So 2, 3, and then 1, 2. Otherwise, he doesn't stand a chance because every other point below. From P4 down is a 2-point difference, except for obviously the 9 to 10 is a 1 point. But if for some strange reason they did finish Van ahead of Rose 1 position somewhere between 4 and 8, and Van got the fastest lap, they would tie.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the standings here, if this is the up-to-date standings. Van has 131 points, and Rosefest has 166. So that would put them 10-point difference as it stands right now. Because Van's going to get 25 points here.
I had my numbers wrong. I apologize. Yeah, I was doing the math wrong. So 10 points.
10 points, which is going to mean that
Van has to win, and Rose can't finish higher than third.
Yes. Unless Van wins with the fastest lap.
Or... Yeah, or no, because if or some combination of a 10-point difference. So Van could get P2, and Rosefest could get P6.
Yes.
Right. So something like that, or but a 10-point difference it is.
While we were doing basic math, Figlin somehow gets by Sadist and is up into P3 on track. Obviously, he'll fall down to P5 as it stands right now. But we don't know. Maybe he had to cut that corner to avoid an incident. We don't know. Maybe he can get that taken away.
Potentially, yeah. I didn't quite catch everything that happened. I just hopped on board with him as he was cutting it. So I know there were other drivers around him. I just didn't know what was happening. So Sadist trying to get that back, though.
Yeah, caught about a half second there just through turn 1 alone. So all over the back of Figlin here.
Only a couple laps left to go.
Yeah, 3 laps left. It's been the Van show on pole. I don't think he's been anywhere other than the first place. And as long as he keeps it clean, he'll go first place. No penalties. And I think he'll be my driver of the day.
You said Van?
Van, yes.
Yeah, he did what he needed to do. Regardless of everything else that happened during the race. Has nothing really to do with him because he was well away from everyone else. We got P1, stayed in P1. Not getting that fastest lap. Oh, Tom getting sideways through Parabolica. And now backwards. Was almost on the back of Sadist, but no longer. Yeah, so Astro getting that fastest lap. So unless Van can pull some magic out here, which probably isn't going to happen on those worn tires.
Yeah,
you never know.
So. You never know. And Figlin, like I said, I don't know if he's going to be able to get that 10-second time penalty taken away, but as of right now, he's going to be P4, which is not terrible.
Not at all. He did get bullied a little bit, so good on him for getting some stuff done here. Sadist does have another couple laps, well, a lap and a half, to try and get that back, and he is within DRS. So
yeah, maybe we'll have a last lap overtake by Sadist.
Yeah, again, all for naught, but you know, you like to see it, I guess.
Even though Figlin gets a very beautiful drive through Ascari there, so I don't think Sadis will be close enough here.
Sadis looks like he has a... Oh, he doesn't have very much energy. Never mind.
Last lap here, Figlin should use the remainder of his energy. There was a yellow flag in Sector 1. Was that Van?
No, that is TJ.
Oh. TJ is not on my screen at all.
It looked like he was pulling... I don't know what happened, but he was off to the side as Van was going around him to lap him on the last lap.
On my screen, he just passed the start-finish line. Good job, Cody's.
Well, pardon me. I am the host, so mine's the one that counts, I guess.
That's right.
Sadis doing everything it can to keep up with Figlin here. Oh, and Astro getting by Rad. Didn't even notice that was happening back there.
Yeah, I think Rad lost it a little bit there. Rad, it's all coming apart for Rad. He started P3, I believe, and P3, P4, and now he's down to P9. So very tough drive for him today.
Yep, well, I do believe that is all she wrote for Monza Redux as Van crosses the line sideways for the win. And James, also with no penalties, will come through with a P2 for Ferrari. Figlin crossed in the line on P3, but dropping down into P4 as Sadis will get that on penalties. And Tom as well. Get off of him for a second. We'll come through P5. Eric keeping P6 as Astro and Zrout are fighting to the bitter end for P7. Oh, Eric moving up into P5 on penalties.
Oh, Zrout and Rad to the line. Oh! Oh my god.
These guys, I swear, sometimes.
I can only laugh at that one. That was good. Eric, driver of the day in the game. He was our driver of the day last week, but unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to give it to Van. I don't know if you agree.
I do, just based on what needed to happen.
Yeah, came out, did what he needed to do, like you said.
I mean, if this was like a round 3, then I'd say no, but since it's a needed win.
Yeah, that'll put Van 10 points behind Rosefest coming into the ARC season finale next week in Brazil.
Well, there is the finishing. I believe that is everyone's. We had 14. Yep. I'll get that race director. Well, thanks for hanging out with me.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody who did come out to watch. We got one more week here at ARC for F1 2020, and then we'll have a couple weeks off, and we'll be back for F1 2021.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. See what kind of game-breaking bugs were introduced. Hopefully none. You know what? Hopefully they got it together.
Yeah, let's go into this one optimistic. But thank you, and I think that'll be it for us.
Yeah, well, next week. Next week the final race for both tiers, correct?
It is, yeah, Sunday and Monday.
Yep, I don't. Sorry, stalling for thinking here. I think. I don't think. I mean, there's definitely going to be some fights for Brazil for Tier 1, but I didn't watch Mexico, so I don't know what happened there. So I don't know what the point situation looks like, but it's kind of close-ish. Just depends. But Tier 2 definitely going to be something. They're going to need to get some work done. So, all right, Chipsy, you have a great night.
You too.
Thank you, and
thank you, Penny.
Have a nice evening.
You too. I will talk